Good morning. Thank you for joining Coffee and Convo Houston, live with RE and Chosen. Today's special guest, FD Sparkman. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Convo Houston, live with RE and Chosen. I'm your host, RE, ready for peace. We have Chosen and our special guest, FD Sparkman. So, how's everybody's morning?
Ooh-wee. Now that I had a little bit of this coffee, I guess I'm ready for a little convo then, huh?
FD, how about you this morning?
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't like
what
that word.
what they
Fine.
challenging 48 hours.
All right.
You didn't
So,
have a problem with that word when you were younger and the guys were whistling.
you know what? And then I learned that it meant freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. So now I
Oh God,
have an issue with it.
here we go.
All right. So, let's get into our recap of last week, recognizing temptation. Chosen.
All right, so if you didn't tune in last week, just like Ari said, last week we talked about recognizing temptation. Temptation, that one thing that always gets us into that thing that we don't need to be in. Many signs of many signs of temptation. We one of the things we talked about, like if you're alcoholic and you coming out of it, one of the signs of that the enemy might be getting you, you drive down the street and the alcohol and the liquor store is like right down the street, and you like, it won't hurt to go get that little swallow. You know what I'm saying? It's like every time you choose to do good, guess what's right there? So
Evil.
it's just a little thing happen, evil. You know what I'm saying? It's the temptation always comes when you recognize that what your habit or that thing that you are charmed by, when you recognize that that is not good for you and it's detrimental to your growth and it's stopping you from reaching to your goals, it's gonna hit you
Mm-hmm.
real. So that's basically what we was talking about last week. Um, and like always, you can always go to the YouTube channel and find all of our previous discussions, all the combos. I was about to say all the coffee. I was gonna say if you need to have you some coffee. If you need to have you some coffee along with the convo, hey, all of those conversations are right there at your disposal whenever you get ready to listen to them. I promise it's gonna be something in there for you.
All right. Now, today's topic, we were talking about giving up. Now,
Why you
if
give
you
up?
tuned in last week, you saw we had many technical difficulties, and so that sparked, as FD say, when we're talking about something that's important that's really helping you move to the next level, there's always some type of interference to prevent you from getting that message. So that pushed us into talking about giving up today. So we wanted discuss how to persevere through these oppositions. Correct me if I'm missing it here. Um, Sometimes all is really needed is just to press in. Majority of the time, I'll say it's just a press in. Now, giving up, it means just really walking away, giving up your control, deciding it's not for you, it's not the right decision for you, all because you've run into some type of adversity. FD, you want to go ahead and take the reins?
Okay. Well, many people give up for many different reasons, and usually everything is designed to push your buttons till you get to the point to where you're saying, okay, you throw your hands up and you walk away from something that's probably going to be good for you or something that's going to be better for you than what you already have. Most people give up because it's the only thing that they know how to do. It's like running away. I have an issue with running away from things
Hmm.
because as a child, I started planning my first runaway when I was 5 and executed at 12, but continued to execute until I was grown.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
when things get too hot for me and I have to watch myself, I have a tendency to try to run away from whatever it is, whether it be good or whether it be bad. So I have to keep myself in check and stay where I am and, remain vigilant against what I know to be one of my weaknesses. I mean, one of the things I love about the military is I got those two, I guess you could call them chants that I go by because of what my unit motto used to be. And one of them was behind these doors are the soldiers that make the impossible a reality. And the other one was night stalkers don't quit. Well, once I've learned to do the impossible, the biggest problem I had was trying to quit.
Okay.
Because
So go ahead. Because I'm pretty sure most of us deal with that, when it gets too hot, we're ready to run. When the pressure is on, we ready to just get out of the way, go somewhere else, duck and cover.
yeah, I mean, you got the running away thing. I'd say the most dangerous thing there is giving up on yourself or giving up on your dream or whatever. And most of those attacks are pretty much, I'd say, custom made just for you. You'll find yourself in a position where if one more thing like this happened to me, I'm done. I quit. You're always going to be pushed to your limit and you're always going to be slammed down really hard for a moment. And it's like, for some people, it's months. For some people, it's years. For some people, it could be 35 minutes. It just depends on the situation, the calling, and your purpose.
Okay. So you're saying, it's like that saying, fight or flight.
Yeah. But
Okay.
sometimes giving up is because most people, when you don't see progression, we tend to quit. So you have to be very discerning when it comes to progression, because when people have certain things in mind, and that's why I always say temper your expectations, because if you don't see the type of progression that you're looking for, people tend to say, okay, nothing is going to happen. They don't wait around long enough to find out that, okay, all good is going to change. I mean, if you look at Formula 409, they screwed up 408 times before they got it right.
Oh, wow. Is that how they got their name?
Yes.
Awesome. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So they messed up. Well, they didn't get it, the formula into the 409th attempt.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
You have Thomas Edison. He had 110 failed experiments before he got the light bulb.
Chosen, what do you have to say about it?
Giving up. If you don't like starting over, then don't give up. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Just as simple as that. If you don't like starting over, don't give up. Like, don't quit. But sometimes you have to go back to the basics. But that doesn't necessarily mean give up. It's like a rebranding sometimes, and what is it that recurring, like your whole recurring thing. Sometimes people hit brick walls, and sometimes people come, like Frederick says, you got to find a way to push through them barriers. And it can be, sometimes that process can be immense. You know what I'm saying? I've gone through it many times. But one thing about it is there's going to be something that calls you to there's going to be something that calls you. It won't be a teacher, it won't be your mama, it won't be your dad, it won't be a best friend or nothing. It's going to be something ethereal. It's going to be something that just won't let you go. And that's what's probably going to get you to it's going to be spiritual, and that's probably going to be something that's going to be the thing that really gets you out of it, because there are certain positions that, the way the world works, there's certain positions that you'll get put in that'll make you wake up. Remember what we talked about last night?
No, I slept since then.
what you told me, you said it took a fall. You was like, so it took a fall for
Yes.
you to.
I told you that it just took a fall for you to learn, for you to actually get that revelation that you needed. It took more than a fall. I mean, but it started out with
More
that
than a
fall.
fall, but it,
You know.
but it started. Well, there were things that that lead up to that because sometimes you can, the one thing that I say that I love about how the Most High works, and of course, you
Mm,
can't talk about anything without giving due to the Most High because the Most High can tell you, hey, this is for you, and you're gonna get it. You know how your mom or your dad be like, you gonna do this
yeah.
one way or another, you gonna do it. If I gotta take you by the hand and take you to it, you gonna do it. And if,
Okay.
and there's going to be a point, and there's going to be a point to where it's going to be like you're going to get there and you're going to see what it is, and then you're going to be like, you know what? I shouldn't have taken this much for me to do this. You'll come out of it. So giving up, when you just
It's
giving
not an
up, if you just
option for
drop it and
some.
walk away, it's not really it's not an option for anybody. But
Hmm.
it's really not an option for anybody. But go ahead, Frederick. You nodding your
No,
head.
I was just shaking my head to what you were saying. Keep going.
Yeah, really, it's not an option. Giving up is not an option for anybody. Um, Man, y'all know how I am. You two know my mind, and y'all know where I'm about to go. Uh,
What movie?
Giving
What
up.
show?
Y'all know I gotta go to Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball
y'all know
Z.
I gotta. Y'all know I gotta go to Dragon Ball. Uh, so Kakarot Goku, he's faced with one of the greatest fights. There's this adversary that even his sensei, even his teacher told him, if you ever come across this dude, avoid him at all costs. Do not don't keep your name out his mouth. So
Okay.
don't let him catch you in the street type thing. And this is the guy that taught him and got him ready for what he was about to face. This is the person that taught him everything that he needed to have at that moment. So he gets there to the place. Now on this place where he's at, his son is there, his friends are there, and now it's all resting on him. So he comes across this guy and he has to he got to square up with him. He get to the point to where this dude just can't hit. He can't hit him, even though his sensei told him not to do it, he still had to. So it was led to the point to where it got down to where the dude was about to drown. And I
Mm,
mean, adversary had this dude under the water, like
mm,
under the water, drowned. He drowned him. But the will, the things that he had to fight for, the ultimate goal of what he could not lose was stronger than what that enemy was doing to him. And he found a way
interesting.
to persevere. So what it is, so when you find a way to persevere and then your resolve is better than what is trying to get you to give up on your dreams, when you find that, then that's when you able to, you able to rise. Like the phoenix through the ashes, you able to rise. I had to go there, y'all. I had to go.
All right, so we have a comment. First and foremost, Leroy says, "Good morning, fellas. Every trial is a test of strength and perseverance that is used to make us stronger. Instead of focusing on the difficulties during the process, out of faith, we should focus on the rewards after all the struggles, blood, sweat, and tears are over. What is your expected outcome pertaining to your goals or desires?" This, I would say, coincide with what you were saying earlier. Go back to your why. Go back to your why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you maintain focus on your why, and I would say FD here, the promise of God as well, what He promised you, you will persevere. Giving up, you have to understand, is a tactic, as we've stated before in other episodes. It's a tactic. It's a tactic to get you out of your destiny. True,
Yep.
false, right, wrong. Okay, FD. What else are you going to throw at us with this giving up? You have your, let's see, you said to Galatians 6:9, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not, which is basically the same thing we're saying in layman's terms, correct?
Yeah. I had an old man once tell me, he said, you can give out, but you can never give in. So you can be exhausted and everything else, and you can fall out, but you can't choose to give up.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes you get pushed beyond your means to bear, and you can fall out, but you can't give up. When you get pushed beyond your means to bear, then the only thing you can do is wait on the Most High. Your change is going to come, like Sam Cooke would say.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so let's address this. Sometimes there's a misconception that the journey is going to be easy. Now, if you remember Nation used to tell me it's not the destination, it's the journey.
All that philosophical stuff sounds great when you guys say it, and I love you for it, but I'm still a
You know what? You woo.
And the easiest
I'm still
thing
drinking my coffee.
The easiest thing for me is gut it out. I mean, endure all hardness as a good soldier. Things are going to come at you. You got to take them hits, take them licks, and hold on. Or like Yeshua says in the book of Revelations, hold on to what you have until I come. I mean, as long as you're not losing everything,
yes, this one.
You hold on to what you have until your change comes.
Excuse me.
A lot of it is mental fortitude, or setting your face as flint, withstanding everything there is until there's nothing left to withstand.
Now, I'm going to always take this to relationships, because sometimes you just know when to throw in the towel. Sometimes you just know when to throw in the towel. Okay. So we're not saying if it's basically killing you, stressing you out to the point where your health is bad and your peace is gone, just stick it out. You be wise in those decisions. What we're saying is, if you started a business, being self-employed, being an entrepreneur, it's hard. It is hard. In fact, Chosen, you told me last night that I should adjust my words when I mention it. It's hard work. Okay. Some days you're going to have the strength to deal with it. You're going to want to jump up and just run for it. And then there are days where it's going to be so hard, you're just going to want to throw in the towel. You're going to feel like no matter what I do, I keep running into this wall. Go ahead. Look like you want to say something. Chosen.
When you used the word hard, and I think me and you were getting ready to talk about this. Y'all gotta understand something about me and Ari. Okay, me and Ari, we 30 years deep in friendship, so we get a chance to chop it up a lot. So remember last night when I told you how I was told it's not hard. Like my mother told me, she was like, it's not hard. You just ask yourself this question. Do you think that whenever we say something is hard, is it really hard? Or is it just because the weather's bad? Okay. There's something that I gotta do, okay, but it's raining outside. Okay, you don't want to get wet, but you don't. If it was sunny outside, it would be easier to. Or I would much rather be doing what I need to do when it's sunny outside, or if it's cold, or if it's too hot. Could it just be the weather that's just making the conditions not what you want them to be? There's some people that don't mind going out in the rain. There's some people don't mind being out in the cold, and some people that don't mind being out when it's hot. So would you say that something is hard? It's not necessarily hard. It's just, hey, these conditions, I don't feel like working in these conditions.
They're not preferable.
FD, that would be the same as a soldier, right? In the military.
What?
I remember when I went to the Air Force.
Have you ever noticed that?
And that was one of the things that the sergeants used to tell us, about how people quit. And they would look for any and every way to actually get out and get discharged because they did not want to continue the process. And that's just basic training. That's just basic training.
So what I'm saying is this. Have you realized that when those conditions are not to your preference or not to your liking, and you still go ahead and do what you needed to do, and at the end of it, you realize one thing: dang, really, all I had to do was show up.
Mm-hmm.
So
sweat
it's like
equity is what I told you last night.
Huh?
Sweat equity is what I said last night.
Sweat equity. That's the first time I ever heard that. I was like, what? I like the who, the Honda, what? Sweat equity. Okay. But that's the thing. It's like, okay, so it's hard to get out of the bed. We say hard. So would we like to say, since you know how I am with words, I say words are spells. So we start learning how to take certain words out of our vocabulary, it'll be a whole lot better. Because have you had that time where you just felt like you couldn't move, but you kept telling yourself, okay, get up. I'm finna get up. I'm about to get up. I'm about to get up. And then you gather that strength when you come out of that, however, I don't feel like I have the luxury for the 8-hour fast no more. I get like maybe 4 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep in that fast. When you come out of that fast, it's like, okay, I need to get up. And then maybe you don't feel like getting up. Once again, you don't feel like getting up. The bed got you holding on to you tighter than your true love. And it just make you want to stay there. And you're like, I need to get up. I need to get up. But the more you tell yourself you need to get up, eventually you're going to get up. But I bet you if you sit up and say,
speaking to your circumstances.
Yeah, if you speak into your circumstance and putting your own energy into yourself, it's going to coerce you to get up. It's going to cause you to get up. It's going to cause you to rise. So that's why I say we have to be careful with what it is that we say and how we say what it is. So it's like, I really don't like the word. Every time I hear somebody say it's hard to do, it's not easy. And I'm like, at the end of the day, when you finally push through the way you are feeling, you realize all I had to do was show up.
Okay. That's
when the battle is inward.
You said that's when the battle is inward?
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree that most battles are inward?
For some people, yes. For some people, it's usually external. Me, mostly, it's usually external.
Now, I want to say something. Okay. Go ahead, Fred, because he had his point.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, like I was saying about those 2 units I had, behind these doors are the soldiers that make the impossible a reality. I'm very tenacious. And I usually, because I was a Night Stalker, I can't give up. I can't quit. I'm going to keep looking for new ways to get to adapt and overcome. I'm going to look for different ways to get this done. I'm an overcomer. But when there are external outside influences that halt you, that stop you, that present that wall, that are attacking you while you're trying to get this done, then you have to learn how to persevere. And you have to learn how to either get through that person, around that person, or that particular thing. If it's a job that's stopping you, then you need to find a better job. If it's a person that keeps harassing you, or let's say it's a wrong friend, then it's time to cut slings. You have to do what it takes to make your road easier. I prayed for ease because, like Chosen said, not everything has to be so hard. And when you're going through something physical, you have these physical attacks that are coming at you, then there's always a mental or spiritual way out.
I would say that has very much so to do with peace more than it does ease.
Well, not always, because you can sit there when you worked on a machine and you come in there and your leg hurting and your back is hurting and the biggest machine in the plant come out. Go out on you. You finna work hard. you finna do some. You finna get put in some sweat equity, as you put it.
Equity. But see, look. We sit up and say that, okay. One thing that I know that makes it mentally, it has me comfortable in the mental state is this. if I go out here, if I'm working on myself, if I'm
Mhm.
used to doing 60, if I'm used to doing 60 push-ups, 60 crunches, and 60 squats, if I'm used to
Oh,
doing that, and then eventually to get to that point, I had to push myself. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm at that point, and now it starts feeling easier. So I might push that 60 up to 65 until I start feeling some strain, until I start feeling like something's working. So sometimes with your circle, okay, at my job, I'll say this: it's every time a plane comes in, I would like for that. I would like for that load with only that load with only 20 bags to come off, and it's small bags. But every now and then I might get that load that got this motorized wheelchair that weighs
oh.
like 600 pounds. And yeah, it's hard, but after it's go ahead.
Oh no, I think he's
Oh,
speaking to the neighbor.
okay, so
Yeah, he was
I
telling
would
me
like to.
they had a question.
Oh,
Go
Okay,
for
go
it.
ahead.
so yeah, um, so every now and then I might get that load that has that 600-pound wheelchair in it. So by the time I get done and I'm figuring out, okay, how am I gonna get this done without this help? So by the time I figured that puzzle out, it was it was a little less strain. Yeah, of course it's heavier than them bags because that bad boy 600 pounds. But now that I've
Mhm.
devised to get it down where no one gets hurt, and yeah, it was heavy, but was it impossible? Was it, it wasn't hard. It was something that just tested my limits. So I get not only do I test out how strong I am physically, it's like now I have another way. I have a contingency for that for when it shows up again. So that's pretty much what it is that I wanted to put out
So
there. That was,
basically, these oppositions are puzzles to solve
yeah, they
Yes.
to get
puzzles
to
to
the other
solve.
side.
They puzzles. Yeah, exactly.
I
They
mean,
just puzzles.
sometimes that puzzle is going to be blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes, like Chosen says, it's figuring out a way to get this job done easier. Work smarter, not harder.
Hmm.
But you also
There it
have,
is, right there.
okay, let's say you need 3 people to get a job done.
Okay.
You got 2 guys that are motivated, ready to go, and then you got one guy that wants to go over here and he don't want to do
Mm.
I deal
nothing.
with it a
So
lot.
now, now you got the issue of how are we going to get this solved done in the appropriate amount of time? Because I got Jake over here that don't want to do what he's supposed to do. So you
So
have
that
to get
doubles the load for everyone, for the other two that's willing to work.
correct. I mean, in life, it's always going to be one person that don't want to. What's that?
It's always one.
Dude that was on life can't get right.
Can't get right.
You're
Can't get
always
right.
gonna, yeah, you're
Can't
always
get
going to
right.
have one of them. And the problem with that is, you have to keep your eye on the bigger picture. Okay,
Mhm.
what do you want to do? This job is not going to go away. I need you to muster whatever motivation you have. Let's get this done. Let's get it over with so we can go back to screwing off or whatever it was we was doing. But no matter what, you procrastinated is not going to stop this job from needing to be done. So I need you to put on your big boy pants and come over here and help us. And we'll try to make it as easy for you as possible. But you're going to get over here and you're going to help us and you're going to get this done.
Interesting. Okay, so basically, it's a lesson in perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Motivation.
there are some out there that just give up in everything that they try. What would you tell them? Especially, let's just say your child has signed up for something at school, and it's some type of what I forgot, elective. Okay, and they go in and they don't feel that they're good at it, whether it be football, basketball, track, even Spanish or French, and they always want to okay, I'm not good at this. I want to drop it. I'm not good at this. I want to
Good
drop it.
is one thing, good enough is another.
Okay,
Now,
go ahead.
when you sit there and you run a race and you come in third or fourth, you're not good enough. Now, when you run a race and you're the last person every single race, then yeah, you can change your elected.
So you would actually
Yeah,
tell them
so
to change their
I
language?
would say no. See, no. What it is okay. You try things until you try. It's trial and error. You try things um, until you figure out that one thing that you're good at. But you have to know what that pull is. For instance, I I played football. I was aight. You know what I'm saying? I was aight. But the thing about it is it didn't resonate me as much as music did. And when I think about how it is with music, I think about what it is that I think about what it is that resonated. It was like every time I would hear a song, I would get this feeling. Every time I played football and got on it, I didn't really get that feeling. So
Okay.
whenever you so I guess I can't say it's different. It's the same when you because we all were children at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we wanted to do things. Sometimes we wanted to do things to impress or make our parents proud. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's who we looked up to. You know what I mean? Or that's who we went to for everything. We want to make our parents proud. Um, until we figured out what it is that we liked to do. Because
Right.
as us, sometimes we grew up being told we don't know what's good for us. Oh, your
Yes.
mama know, your dad know, they know what's good for you.
Yes.
Um,
The only person that actually knows what's
so
good for you in a specific sense is the Most High.
is
Now,
the Most
mom and
High.
dad
That's
might
right.
be talking about what's good for you in general, but even that, some people have turned that upside
Can get
down
wrong.
because you got to
Right.
realize that you have to know your limitations. You have to know,
Yes.
like you said, good at this and good at that. Now,
Mm-hmm.
So
you have certain terms in life where you have to develop skills because you completely suck at it, but then you find out that
mhm,
Agreed.
you're actually good at it once you develop your skills. Whereas you
mhm,
have what's called talents and you have skills that you can
Okay.
yeah.
skill acquisition. So if this is a talent,
So
it's going to be easier. I don't have to put so much work in. But let me stop over talking. You go for it. What you going to say?
now you get yeah. So no, because what I wanted to say was as a parent, you have to. That's why you have to watch your children. And Isaiah said, and a child shall lead them. That's part of that
Mm-hmm.
scripture. And a child shall lead them. You're supposed to watch your children to see what they gravitate towards. And what they gravitate towards is what they want to do. It might seem pointless to you. Excuse me. It might go against what you felt like it was. Because you know how you get so many people that want to be like, okay, well, dad, he worked on these cars and he got this car business, and then that baby's baking in the womb. And you going and you buying onesies with wrenches on it and cars and dad's little mechanic. And then when he come out, he might want to do something totally different than what it is. You have to
He
put
don't
like
want to
your
touch a wrench.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he does not want to even touch a wrench. That's why you see the movies. That's why when you see the movies, it'd be like, Dad, that's what you want, Dad. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, when are you gonna tell Dad that you're not interested in this? You see how flawed that is? So
Mm.
you have to really watch your children and set aside what it is you feel like you want for your child as far as as far as their talent. Of course, you want the best for your child. You want the best for them, but you have to look at what it is that they gravitate towards, what it is, and then put them in that, and put them in to see how they fare with it. And then if it doesn't work or whatever, and if you start seeing them flourish, I don't like to use the word competition, but if you start seeing them flourish other than the competition or whatever, and they feel like this isn't what I want to do, or it's not challenging, then that's when you're supposed to take time out to show them their accomplishments in it and say, okay, what we're not going to do is we're not going to quit. We'll finish this task and then we'll look to something else or something like that. Because that's when you start teaching. That's when you start teaching that give up, giving them the reason to feel like they can give up. Is when they feel
Just
like
because it's
they
getting
don't
a
want
little
to do it.
hard.
It's getting a little
You
hard
say
because
giving up because of the challenge. They're looking to
because
give
of
up
the
because
challenge.
it's a
Some
challenge.
like look for the challenge, and if you let them, and if you just let them quit or let them stop because they feel like it's too hard, then that's how you teach people to give up. So like in my case, I wasn't given, music was all in me, but I
Mm-hmm.
was told like old school, what I'm saying, well, you need to find something that's gonna get you through life. You need to find something. Let that be a backup. You need a backup, and this, and that. How many
I was
people
doing the
have you
same
heard?
thing.
How many people have you heard talk about a backup? Tyler Perry talked about being homeless. All the great people, or what we think is great, the people that started their own stuff, they had nothing. Either that or they lost nothing. They talk about so much about how there were days I wanted to give up. There were days I wanted, but they had nothing to lose after that. They gave up everything to do what it is, to pursue what it is that they needed to pursue. And they knew that if I don't get up and go get it, ain't nobody gonna get it for me.
That's true.
So you sit up and you think, giving up, is it really an option? No, there's no option. You either gonna live or you gonna die. And that's in a physical and a mental sense.
Well, the problem is that giving up is actually an option for some people because that's the only thing they know. They're, like you say, they're taught this from the moment that they grow up. Okay, when you sit there, and I hate to say this, but you know, you go look at the hood sometimes or whatever, and you got this little child that want to go do this, and you're like, "Mama, I can't do it." It's okay, son. It's okay. Go ahead and sit down. Just because my adversity is a bother to you, because you have some people that will put
that's right
your adversity as an inconvenience because I don't really want a parent. So I don't really want to take the time to help you muscle or master this particular thing, muscle through or master this particular thing. Since I'm lazy, I'm going to not parent you, and you're going to always be a quitter because now you have that automatic habit in your head. Every time I face adversity, it is okay for me to quit because mama said so. Now see, daddy gonna send you back out there and make you attack again.
Yes, my father did that. I had
in some cases. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to write, and my mother said I needed a backup plan, something that would give me job security. You know,
there's no such thing.
Really,
and it's not. And I really didn't think I was very good in math. And then my father showed me, just showed me that it was a talent that I really didn't tap into, didn't know that I had, you know. So then math became my thing. So writing and math became both of my go-tos. So
That's weird.
What?
You usually only get one. You either get the writing thing and you suck at math, or you get the math thing and you suck at English. You're weird. You got them both.
I got them both. I ended up working in finance, and I ended up being a writer. So those were that's even my backup plan. That was my backup plan. You know, if I didn't do the writing, I was going to work in a financial field. So, but I brought that up to say one was not being nurtured. Another one was nurtured. Go ahead.
20 minutes on this show. I'm talking to somebody else.
But
I got like 20 more minutes on the show.
About not giving up. This is what we wanted. We want you to understand. Just because it's hard in the beginning, or you perceive it to be hard, and I think that really comes down to discipline, is what we're really saying, right? Go ahead, Chosen.
That's right. It comes down to discipline. And it also comes, you know what I did not understand? I did not understand the word grind, like in the sense when everybody say get back on my grind, or when people say, you know, I got to get back on my grind. I didn't know. When I looked at, I just thought maybe, okay, it was working overtime, or whenever you get it, you keep going until it's time to quit. But really what it is, it's more going till you get there. Like okay, like you could keep doing. Okay, you know, I gotta bring something up. All right, you remember how me and you used to go shoot things? How we play? You know, we would play the game, and we would go do these. We would go do the strikes, and you go in there, and they talk about the grind. Well, the grind is you keep going until you get that which you are attaining. You know what I mean? So it's like you going there until you keep getting it. Like, okay, man, like we did like 50 strikes, and this weapon still didn't drop. So you don't know when the weapon gonna drop, but I bet you if we had stopped that strike and we stopped and we quit, that next strike that we ran could have been that strike that the weapon dropped, or the piece of equipment that we wanted dropped. So basically what I'm saying is like one of the key things to not giving up is you keep on putting it out there, you keep on doing it because you just never know that day might be, you know, that it could be the next day that you finally get what it is you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You get to
Mm-hmm.
that.
And again, that's perseverance, pushing through,
But
pressing
see, that's the
through.
one thing for you. That's it. But that also correlates to something to hoping for, like what you hoping for. That gives you something to hope
Hold
for.
on
It's
to what
like
you have until I come.
Okay.
you keep on doing it. Like, okay, let me do it, dog. Because if I put this video up, if I put this video, it's like I might feel like not recording this video of singing, this 35 seconds of singing, putting this on Instagram, and I'm like, dog, guess what? If I put this up here, what's the chances of Babyface seeing it? What's the chances of Brian
Mm-hmm.
McKnight seeing it? If I don't, and I don't put it up there, and next day you get on the social media or whatever it is, and it was like they said, look, man, I
Boom.
just happened to be on Instagram, or I just happened to be on this, and I found such and such, and you didn't post that day, that could have been you. So it's like the thing to
I'm
look
glad you
hope.
brought up social media. Okay, I'm glad you
Okay,
brought that up. Because
you
even if
welcome.
we take what we do, we've been doing this, it'll be a year next month. Okay.
Yeah.
And
For
we've
example,
looked at our viewership, we've looked at our topics, metrics, and we see that we have an audience. We do have an audience. We have people that are true fans of Coffee and Convo Houston. Now, you have situations where there are some episodes where our viewership is extremely low. Okay. We could have easily said, you know what? No one's listening to us. No one is taking the time out to actually watch the show. And we could have given up months ago. But we've been doing this for a year. Consistency. We've been doing this going on a year now. What you just said about putting it on social media or not putting it on social media. What if someone sees it? What if someone wants to pick it up? What if we miss that boat by deciding to quit?
By not
time
by
and
just
chance
that
happens
one
to
day.
all men.
That is.
Go ahead, Frederick.
That
Time
is.
and chance happens to all men. At the right
Mm-hmm.
time, somebody will always come along that will notice you, help you, or something. If you look at every hard luck movie there's ever been, if you look at every musical thing there's ever been, I mean, if you look at Barry White and Smokey Robinson, they got together and all of these things, they got turned down by everybody. It ended up being that he had to go to his family to get the money, but only after they had actually put their idea together, done everything that they had to do to get everything together until money was the only issue. Sometimes you got to push through until you have nothing left to do. And then your time will come.
You know how
Okay.
many record labels turned down Anita Baker?
Mm.
She
No,
went
I
to
don't.
4 different record labels. She went to 4 different record labels. Every last one of them said the same thing. They said she could not sing.
Mm.
Anita
I
Baker
love
is
me some Anita
responsible
Baker.
for Anita Baker is responsible for almost every good relationship. Some of us are here because of Anita Baker.
Yep.
Some of you, some people got proposed. Some people got proposed to by Anita Baker.
Uh-huh.
And some, I
Yep.
mean, shoot, my cousin even sung one of Anita Baker's uh songs at their wedding. Some people were joined by Anita Baker, and it took 4 people. It was 4 people that didn't believe in her what she had to do, but because she didn't quit, she's who she is now. And I love me some Anita.
Me too. Okay, so now we're gonna do our bullet points, y'all. And at this point, if you want to expound on it, please do. Now, Chosen, your key thing is if you hate starting over, don't give up.
If you hate starting over, don't give up. If you don't want to go back to it, it's like you look okay. Like when I was in music and I took that 10-year hiatus, yeah, I took that 10-year hiatus, And it was like, okay, I thought about, man, it's just like whenever you wake up in the morning, you don't feel like it's like, dog, I gotta get up. I gotta start back vocalizing like I did every day, which I should already be doing. And I gotta go find people. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And it's back to the basics. But you gotta shake that rust off. And that's part of starting
Mhm.
up. That's part of starting over, shaking that rust off, and then remembering if you still know how to do this. Um, that making sure the engine can still crank up. Most people don't like doing that, but if you don't like doing that, then don't give up. That's basically it. Sometimes you can be more fortunate than others, uh, in whatever it is you do. Sometimes what I like, forget that. What I really meant to say is think about it like this. We usually always say if you don't use it, you lose it. I don't look at
Mhm.
it like I don't look at it like that. I look at it as it's dormant. You have to reawaken it. You have to waken it up. You have to wake it up again. Because you don't lose it. It just goes to sleep. And you have to do it. Like I when I came back from that hiatus, I had not performed anywhere in over a decade. Back in 2019, 2018, 2019, I hadn't performed in over a decade. I went in front of management. I went in front of people I did not know. And that was the first time I ever performed on stage. And the only thing that they had to say about my performance was I didn't have anything physical to give them. Like I didn't have anything to support my brand. Then I
Mhm.
didn't know because back then I didn't even know about how to create that brand.
Market
All I knew how
yourself.
to do,
Yeah.
yeah, to market myself. I didn't know the ins and out on how people do it now. So I just said, man, I'm just gonna get up here and go see how far I get and take an assessment of my skills because I've been out of this for like 10 years and over 10 years. So after that, I just picked it up. So it wasn't so much as saying starting over was bad. It was because hey, I learned something. But to get up and be like, oh, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. It can kind of be daunting, but if you don't like starting over, then don't give up. If you don't want that
Okay.
feeling, then don't give up. Just keep going.
All right. And FD.
Every setback can be a leg up, because in the music industry, as what I've seen is that you guys learn this. If you look at everything that Prince went through, he was actually starting the new way that everything was done. He was actually putting all these things into place. Nobody understood what he was doing because he was well ahead of his time. And he was the one telling them when 2000 hit, people are going to be ordering my music online. I don't have to use you no more. I don't have to go through you no more. Everything changes with time.
All
So
right.
Everything changes.
That's what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying. Okay, so basically, adopt an I won't quit mindset. Okay, no matter what opposition you run into, your goal should be problem solving. How do I get on the other side of this? How do I reach the next destination so I can continue my journey and help me get to where I need to be? So having that I won't quit mindset will help you solve those problems that you run into. All right. And any moment that you feel as though you want to give up or you should give up, need to give up, whatever you believe at that moment, go back to the reason why. Why did you choose to do this? What was the importance for? Why was it so important to you? Always remember that story that got you there. Okay. Um, that's all I have to say about this. Know your why and have a I don't quit mindset. I mean, perseverance, I've been told that a lot. I don't give up. And those that know me know I don't give up. I might find some choice words to say to someone so they don't give up. I'm that person that'll put a kick in your behind, make sure you keep focused and pull you through. And that's another thing. Make sure you have a support team. That is very, very much so important. If you ever feel as though your back is against the wall, it is important to have someone to call and talk to help remind you on why you started. We have a comment here. Leroy says, every desired dream is a journey filled with bumpy roads, hills, and mountains. The key is to focus on the finished project and not the tedious hardships along the way. God has given us the strength to overcome and be victorious in all of our trials. These trials give us the chance and the ability to learn all of what we need to know to be overachievers in our desired fields. We will be placed in a position to learn all the ins and outs in our dreams and desired goals. I agree with that. FD?
One of the things that I've learned about what I do is waiting on the Most High. When you've done everything you can do, stand. And that young man that came and interrupted the show, I've been working on him for years. And he has some issues that he wants to discuss with me or whatever, but he's finally waking up and he's out there trying to pursue what he actually needs to do rather than make excuses. I believe.
Oh, okay, so he's trying to apply the knowledge that you've been giving him.
Exactly. So he's coming to me for more advice and a little bit of help on his writing.
Okay.
I believe that you have to be like the Most High. The Most High doesn't give up on anybody. And like Chosen says, even though that relationship may go dormant, it's not dead. It's not over.
Okay.
And I believe that if you wait on people long enough, they will snap back to their senses. And they will eat up everything you taught them and come back for more.
And the only thing, like my mother used to say, you need some fire put up under you, to make you move.
What I did the first 2 years. That didn't work.
But see, that's what people, the right people around you will put that fire under you. You can go somewhere and you'll see people like me. I'm the type of person, if I see people doing stuff, and they going towards, they're going on the same journey that I'm going, and I see them do the same thing I do, I kind of get, it makes me excited. Like, I get excited, not just for them, but then I get excited to keep doing what it is that I do. But you know what? This is one thing I wanted to say too. When people do give up, I understand why. Because it's so much easier to lay down. It's so much easier to lay down. You ever had a headache and it just feels like when you lay down, the headache it's like it's less, if not gone. You lay down, I'm just gonna lay here. Because if I move,
a little rest,
then
a little slumber, and poverty will overtake you like a bandit.
Yes.
Repeat that.
And then because it's
a little rest, a little slumber, and poverty will overtake you like a bandit.
Isn't that scripture?
Yep.
I thought so. Okay, go ahead, Chosen.
Yeah. I mean, and he right. It's so much easier to lay down. Like, I could be passionate about anything. I could be just like I'm passionate about my music. But it is so easier for me to pick up a controller than it is to write a song. I'm serious, because I get up, all I gotta do, click a button, and that's it. It's got it. But to sit down in front of a beat and write a song, it's like, okay, you're thinking about this and you think you can let it flow, but it's so much easier to do that, because it's like, so the one thing that'll cause your stagnation is just being led by something else. We can sit up and watch a whole season of Walking Dead or a whole season of something like that, because and sometimes it's not a distraction. It's a distraction from what it is you need to do from the task. Yes, I agree. But sometimes, like the only reason why I'm able to drop gems on stuff like that is because their stories and I see the underlying meaning and I see it, so I learn from it too. But the only reason why it's so easy is because it's already wrote out. All I gotta do is this here.
I got what you're saying, because I'm guilty.
It's all I gotta do, and
I'm guilty of the same thing. You can over practice that one gift that you're so good at, that you're so easy at, rather than dealing with this one over here that's harder. Dealing with this one right here, I don't have the flow. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So, because like I'm like, because like my homeboy will say, man, what you been working on, dog? I'll say, dog. And what he just said, what you been working on. It's so much easier to do something that don't involve the challenge. It doesn't involve
brain
work.
power.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like what you been. So it's like basically it's when you feel like your creative juices and their creative flow ain't there. It's like, man, what do I do to get? It's like, dude, if I could trade in the simplicity to play a game or watch an anime for the simplicity to create the song and getting on this workstation and just go to it and get it. That's what I'm getting at. It's because a TV show, a video game, or anything it's you can go to it and get it. Everything is right there. But whatever it is that you know that you're passionate about, sometimes you gotta wake it up. You gotta, hey, how do I get this creative process?
Unnecessary diversion. Is that what you're looking for?
We can go there. We can go to unnecessary diversion because sometimes we take unnecessary.
If that's the way you putting it out, that it's an unnecessary diversion.
Yeah, like sometimes it's an unnecessary
If it's not a
diversion.
distraction, it's a diversion.
Yeah,
there you go.
I see
Unnecessary diversion.
Unnecessary
So it's
diversion.
like, so I say sometimes whenever you hit that brick wall, that's like the cue for the enemy to hit you with that unnecessary diversion. It's like you hit that brick wall, I just can't get this done. Okay, then you look over there to the right side of your, and then there go Netflix popped up. What are we watching today? After you just, it's like I can't get this idea out. Then you look over, what are we watching today? It's like you just know, don't you? Like you just knew that I really couldn't get this out. So sometimes you can get it to where you hit that brick wall and you like, I can't. And every time you get up, I can't. Then there's something that, hey, well, we can do this. And you can do that for so long. Doesn't mean that you've given up. It just means that you went into a creative coma.
Yeah. Well, see, that's where I come up with hold on to what you have until I come. You're going to have that dead space. Like we're not supposed to have dead air when we're doing the show. But in life, you're going to have that little dead space where the only thing you can do is hold on to what you have, maintain your peace, keep your motivation. Right now, the juices just ain't flowing, but that's today. That's not tomorrow.
That's not tomorrow. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for joining Coffee and Convo Houston, live with RE and Chosen, special guest FD Sparkman. I hope you got something out of today's show and understand that, as we've all stated today, it's problem solving, discipline, and what am I missing here? Problem solving, discipline, perseverance. Perseverance. Look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Have a lovely day.
God
bless.